Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Gems of Knowledge. So I am here with another new video on the topic matter in our surrounding. Okay, so in the previously video we have studied how the matter can change its state. Okay, so there we have studied about the effect of temperature as well as effect of pressure. Okay, so if you are not aware of that, please make sure to watch that video. The link will be provided into the description box. So in today's video we are going to study about the evaporation. So we should know what is evaporation. So you have studied that how the effect of temperature and effect of pressure deals into our life. Okay, so can we only depend on the temperature and pressure? Can we always need to change the pressure and temperature to change the state of matter? Is it? No, it is not like that. We already know that when the water of the river, ponds and all, it is always left uncovered. But even then we know that the water is evaporated. Water is vaporized. Water will be changed into from liquid state to vapor state. And we all know about the water cycle, right? So what is the thing which makes the water cycle? The important phenomena there is nothing but the evaporation process. In the today's video we will deal about the process of evaporation. So what is evaporation? The phenomenon of change of liquid into vapors at any temperature below its boiling point is called as evaporation. Okay, so what is this evaporation? It is a phenomenon where the liquid state is changed into the vapor state. Okay, and what will be temperature? The temperature will be below its boiling point. So before reaching to the boiling point of that water, the water is already evaporated. It is changed from liquid state to gaseous state. Okay, so what is that process called? That process is nothing but called as evaporation. Okay, so next we have to study about the factors which affect the evaporation. So there are few factors which affects the evaporation. Okay, so in that the first one is an increasing surface area. So you might be thinking, surface area, how this can affect the evaporation? So you can see here, if surface area is increased, the rate of evaporation is increases. Okay, so that's why we all know that the ponds, rivers, lakes, oceans, it is having a wider surface area. So we can say that it is evaporated very easily. There will be increased amount of evaporation in that cases. Okay, so here example is been given. While putting clothes for drying up, we spread them out. You know that while we put the clothes to dry, we spread those clothes and put it for the drying process. So why we do that? If we just imagine, if we bundle up all the clothes and put at once, will it dry up? No, it is hardly impossible. If we spread all the clothes separately and keep it for the drying process, easily it will evaporate. Okay, so that is just because of the surface area. This phenomenon is just because of the surface area. If we widen up the surface area, what happens? Automatically the evaporation rate of this evaporation will be increased. Okay, so this is the first factor, that is surface area, which affect the process of evaporation. Okay, moving to the next factor, an increasing temperature. Just see, while the increase of temperature, more number of particles get enough kinetic energy to go into the vapor state. Okay, so what is given here is, if you increase the temperature of any liquid, what happens there is, the liquid, first of all, it will be randomly moving. You all know that throughout the chapter you have studied the liquid particles are almost, they are not nearer to, they are not attached to each other, they are like a little bit free to move. Okay, so what happens when you increase the temperature there? If you increase the temperature, the force of attraction which was present into that molecules will be released and it will be having more kinetic energy. Okay, so as soon as it is having more kinetic energy, they are free to move Okay, it means they are converted into the gaseous state, free to move. when the particles are free to move, it means that the particles are in gaseous state. So we can directly say that the liquid here will be converted into the vapor state. So this is the second factor which affect the evaporation. Okay, moving to the third one. Okay, third one, as you can see here, a decrease in humidity is given. So before knowing how this process, this factor affect, we shall know what is humidity. Okay, humidity is the amount of water vapor which is present in the air. So you all know that when the temperature is humid, what happens there is actually into the atmosphere, water vapors will be present into the air. So due to that, we feel that the temperature is humid. Okay, so here they have given a decrease in humidity. Okay, see, the air around us cannot hold more than a definite amount of water vapor. So what does it do? The air around us, it cannot hold more than a definite amount of water vapor. It is having some quantity of containing water vapor. Okay, so if the amount of water in air is already high, the rate of evaporation decreases. Okay, so when the air is containing the amount of water, what happens? It will make all the things, all the possible phenomena dull, right? So we can say a decrease in humidity. When the temperature is humid, we can say that the clothes won't dry up. You can see the weather now. It is already a monsoon weather, right? So it means we can expect this condition. The atmosphere is humid now, right? So what happens if the humidity is more? Our clothes won't dry up. Looking at that particular phenomena of example which I have given you, if we consider that the clothes won't dry up now, yes, because of the humidity present, right? So what happens here is, if the humidity is more, evaporation process will be dull, it will be decreased. Okay, so what we need to do, if we need to increase the evaporation, the humidity must be decreased. Okay, moving to the last factor, that is fourth one, an increase in wind speed. You know that when it is a windy day, what happens, right? Our clothes will dry up within a few seconds, or we can say within few minutes. Okay, not seconds, within few minutes. With the increase in wind speed, the particles of water vapor move away with the wind, decreasing the amount of water vapor in the surrounding. Yes, obviously we can say wind speed can change everything. Okay, so wind speed, increase in the wind speed, what it does, when the wind speed is increased, evaporation process is also speed up. Okay, so far we have studied 4 cases, that is increase in surface area, increase in temperature, and increase in wind speed, and the last one, that is decrease in humidity. 3 things we have to increase, whereas we have to decrease the humidity. Okay, I hope the factors affecting evaporation is cleared here. Yes, so let us move on to the next phenomenon here. Evaporation cause cooling. So you might be thinking how the evaporation process can cause cooling. So let us see here. In an open vessel, okay, in an open vessel, the liquid keeps on evaporating. Can you observe this? The liquid keeps on evaporating in an open vessel. Okay, let's continue this. The particles of liquid, here what happens actually is, the particles of liquid absorbs energy from the surrounding. Okay, so whatever the energy they are getting from the surrounding, they will absorb all the energy to regain the energy lost during the evaporation. Okay, so whatever the energy is lost during the evaporation, it regains that energy by absorbing the energy from the surrounding. Okay, so this absorption of energy from the surrounding makes the surroundings cold. Okay, so due to that absorption of energy, the surroundings will be cold. Okay, after a hot sunny day, people sprinkle water on the roof. Okay, you might have seen this phenomenon oftenly. Okay, after a hot sunny day during the summer season, obviously we all do this. Okay, people sprinkle water on the roof or open ground because the large latent heat of vaporization of water helps to cool the hot surface. Yes, we oftenly do this just to cool the roof or just to cool the ground. We do this processes. Okay, this is because of the whatever the latent heat of vaporization was present there to cool that part. We do this. Okay, so here few examples have been given that how the evaporation can cause cooling. Okay, so you can see here what happens when you pour some acetone. Acetone is in the sense your nail polish. Okay, we can consider that your nail polish remover is also acetone based. Okay, so what happens when you pour some acetone onto your palm? Okay, so have you checked what happens when you pour this acetone onto your palm? Yes, what happens is you feel like you feel cold. Yes, the particles, what happens here is the particles gain energy from your palm or surroundings and evaporate, causing the palm to feel cold. So what was the case there? When you put the nail polish remover onto your hand, what happens is it just evaporated and you feel like you are causing cold. Okay, you feel cold onto your hands. Okay, this is just because the particles, what it does is it gains energy from your palm as well as the surrounding heat, and it will evaporate. Okay, and as soon as it evaporates, what happens? We feel cold. Okay, similar one more condition is given here. Why should we wear cotton clothes in summer? So why do everybody prefer cotton clothes during summer? So here is the answer. You can see during summer we perspire more because of the mechanism of our body which keeps us cool. Okay, so this is the reason we sweat more. And the cotton is a good absorbent, as we all know that the cotton is a good absorbent, and it will not cause us itchiness, rashes onto our skin due to more perspiration, more sweating. Okay, so this is the reason why everybody prefer cotton clothes during the summer season. Okay, let's move on to the next topic. Okay, you can see here a detailed description is given on the cotton clothes, wearing cotton clothes during summer. You can see during evaporation, the particles at the surface of the liquid. Okay, so what happens during the evaporation process? Okay, so the particles which are at the surface of the liquid, upper part of the liquid, what it does is it gains energy from the surrounding or body surface and change into vapor. So you can see if this is your utensil and whatever the surface particles are present into the liquid, what it does is it will gain the energy from the surrounding, from all the part of the surrounding. It will gain the energy and also the energy from these particles which are present here. Okay, it will gain the energy, and what it does, it will get into vapor state. It will change itself into vapors. Okay, so the heat energy equal to the latent heat of vaporization is absorbed from the body, leaving the body cool. So what it does is whatever the heat energy is there present here, which is equal to the latent heat of vaporization, it will be absorbed and it will leave the body, whatever the body is present, it will leave it feeling cooling sensation. Okay, so here you can see cotton, being a good absorber of water, helps in the absorption of sweat and exposing it to the atmosphere for easy evaporation. So this is why we can use cotton clothes during the summer. Okay, so here you can see onto the screen there a table is given which contains some measurable quantities and their units which you have to remember it. Okay, so here the first column contains the quantity, whereas the second column contains the unit, and the third column contains the symbol to it. Okay, so here first one is temperature. What is the unit of temperature? It is nothing but Kelvin, and the symbol is capital K. Whereas second one is length, and the unit of length is meter, and its symbol is small m. Third one is mass. Its unit is kilogram, and it is written in the symbol as kg, small k and small g. Fourth one is weight. It has the unit Newton, and it has the symbol capital N. Volume is always measured in cubic meter, so its unit is cubic meter, and the symbol we can write is m to the power of 3, m cube. Okay, then density. Density is nothing but mass by volume, so you can write it as kilogram per cubic meter. So symbolically we can write it as kg m to the power of -3. Everything is in smaller letters. Okay, then the last one here is pressure, and it has the unit as Pascal, and the symbol to it is capital P and small a. So this is something very important which you have to remember throughout your life. Okay, so this is very useful in day-to-day lives also, as well as in the scientific fields. So in my I guess in my previously known videos, I have told you about the 4 states of matter. That is, the 4th state is nothing but the plasma state, and the 5th state is Bose-Einstein condensation. So we shall know what are these 2 states. Okay, so as you can see here, plasma is the 4th state of matter. So plasma is matter that does not have a definite shape. So you can see like the solid, it has definite shape. Okay, the plasma is not having any definite shape or volume, and whose particles have broken apart. Okay, so the particles of the plasma are, we feel like it is broken parts. Okay, so plasma is an ionized gas. It is ionized gas. It is, okay, here the particles are in the form of ions. Okay, and it is present in the form of gas. So you can see it is an ionized gas, a gas into which sufficient energy is provided to free electrons from atoms or molecules and to allow both or to coexist. Okay, it means here you can see your plasma is nothing but it is an ionized gas. Okay, so what is ionized gas? It is just a gas which is sufficient, which provides energy for the atom to free up the ions. Okay, so this is your atom, or you can say this is your molecule. Okay, NaCl, this is your molecule. Sodium chloride, this is. Okay, so this ionized gas is something which will provide this molecule some energy to free up this bonds between the two, between the bond between this Na and Cl, and it will make up into ions. Okay, so this is Na plus sodium ion, and this is chloride ion. Okay, so this is something, the plasma is something ionized gas. Okay, in other words, a plasma is a gas that has electricity running through it. So in the easy manner we can say that plasma is a gas that has electricity running through it. So basically we can say plasma is similar to the electricity. Okay, so plasma is the most common state of matter in the universe. This is the most common state of matter into the universe. On Earth, plasma is naturally occurring in flames. So you can see on Earth where we can get the plasma states into the flames. Okay, wherever the flames are present, we can assume that the fourth state of matter is present into the flames. Lightning, you have seen. Okay, lightning, etc. Then artificial plasmas includes fluorescent lights. So if I get the image of the fluorescent light, I'll insert you onto the screen. You can see these are nothing but the fluorescent lights. Okay. Next, coming to the fifth state of matter, that is Bose-Einstein condensate. So what is the difference between the fourth state of matter as well as the fifth state of matter? You can see here, fifth state of matter called Bose-Einstein condensate was proved in 1995. This was proved in 1995 by two men at the University of Colorado. Okay. This phenomenon was originally predicted in 1920s. So this phenomenon was already assumed by some other scientists, that is in the year 1920s. Okay, that is by Satyendranath Bose and Albert Einstein. Okay, by these two persons only they have given the name, that is Bose and Einstein condensation. Okay, so at ultra low temperature, so what is, now let us see what is this Bose-Einstein condensation. Okay, so at ultra low temperatures, atoms begins to stop moving. So when the temperature is very low, what happens is the atoms begins to stop moving. It means the atoms will not move, it will stop, it will resume its motion. Okay, it will stop its moving position. Okay, so here Einstein wondered, okay, now the Einstein wondered what would happen if this occurred in a gas. Okay, so just see here what is the case here. At ultra low temperature, the atoms begins to stop moving. At the lowest temperature, what happens is the atoms stopped moving. Okay, the atoms stopped moving. Now this triggered the Einstein mind, and he started to think what happen if this is the case in the gas. Okay, so here we all know that the gas particles move randomly. Yes, we know that the gaseous particles always move randomly. So it took many years to figure out the how to test with this idea. So they were having the question into their mind, but they were not getting how to test this idea. Okay, so what happens, a BEC, okay, Bose-Einstein condensation is a microscopic blob of atoms. So this is nothing but a blob of atom. Later they developed this, that it is a blob of atoms. Blob means it is a cluster of atom. We can say it is a cluster of atom, but it is microscopic. We cannot see by our naked eyes. It is microscopic. It is a microscopic blob of atoms that lose their individual identities and shape, and these extremely low temperatures. Okay, so later on in the later years, they came to know that the Bose-Einstein condensation is nothing but it is the cluster of atom which have lost their identities. The atoms have forgot what they are. Okay, what they have come from, what they are doing. Okay, they have completely lose their identities and also shape due to this extreme low temperature. Okay, due to their lowest temperature, they have forgot everything. Okay, they have lose their, we can say they have lose their memories, and they have formed a cluster of one another. Okay, at this low temperature, the particles lose energy. They have lost all their energy, and they have slowed down and clumped together to form a little drop. Okay, they have clumped together. They have due to this, what happens, low temperature, we can say that the atoms are feeling very cold, and they have come closer to each other just to provide the heat of their bodies. Okay, they have come closer. What they have lost completely their energy. Their body is no more heat now. They have completely lose down their energy, and they have formed a cluster together, clump. Okay, clump together to form a little drop. Okay, tiny. They have formed a tiny drop. It is no longer a bunch of separate little atoms, but one large dense lump. Okay, but one large dense lump or a drop of water condensing out of a damp air into the cold bowl. You can see, you have seen that whenever you are having a cold food into a bowl, after some time you can see the outer cover of the bowl, how the water droplets are falling into from that bowl. Okay, so it is the similar situation here. Okay, so it is referred to as super atom. Okay, this is nothing but the gas, this is nothing but the Bose-Einstein condensation state. Is the atom there is nothing but called as super atom, and it is exactly opposite to the plasma state. Okay, whereas in the plasma state you have seen it is completely super energetic particles there, but here all the energy of the particles has been loosed up and they are formed into the super atoms. Okay, they are not having any energy, but instead they have told here it is called as the super atom. Okay, I hope the idea is understood by you people. Okay, if you are having any doubts regarding this, you can comment me down below, and let's quickly move on to the question answers. So depending on the topic of evaporation, there are few questions which are present on the page number 10 of your textbook. Let's quickly have a glance on them. So the first question here is, why does a desert cooler cool better on a hot dry day? So before understanding the concept here, we shall know what is hot dry day. Okay, and how does a desert cooler cool on that particular hot dry day. Okay, so let's quickly go on to the solution here. So the solution here is, first term is nothing but the hot dry day. What do you mean by hot dry day? Okay, hot dry day means that the temperature of atmosphere is high and humidity of air is low. So it means when the temperature is more and humidity is less, there is no humidity into the atmosphere, we can say that the particular day is hot dry day. Okay, hot summer day we are saying, right? So that is nothing but the hot dry day. Okay, so both these factors increase the rate of evaporation and thus enormous cooling. Okay, so here the question was asked, why does a desert cooler cool better on a hot dry day? It is just because of the temperature here, high temperature and less humidity. We can say because of these two factors, it will increase the rate of evaporation and thus enormous cooling will be occurred. Okay, so next question is, how does the water kept in an earthen pot becomes cool during summer? So you all have seen this phenomenon, I guess. During summer season we oftenly use the earthen pots to pour the water and to drink it, and we feel it more cooler than any other thing. Okay, so why does this happens? So here the solution is, large number of tiny pores are present on the surface of the earthen pot. Okay, you might have seen the tiny pores will be, if you touch that pot you can feel it, the pores are present onto the surface of the earthen pot. Okay, even though we cannot see it, they are very tiny pores, but there are pores present on the surface of the earthen pot. Okay, so the water stored in it evaporates faster through these pores and it causes cooling. So whatever the water stored into that pot, it will evaporate it, and through these pores it will cause cooling. Hence the water stored here becomes cool. So we can say the water, whatever the water we are storing into that particular pot is cooled. Okay, moving to the third part. So the third question, why does our palm feel cold when we put some acetone or petrol or perfume on it? So you might have observed this when you put some nail polish remover. So in the video itself I have explained you this. Acetone is nothing but similar to nail polish remover. Okay, if we pour these things onto our palm, we feel cold. So why is this? Okay, the similar question. So let's see the answer here. some liquid get quickly vaporized and they are called volatile liquids. Okay, so the liquids which are quickly vaporized into the quickly vaporizing, we can say them as volatile liquids. Okay, so this acetone, perfume and petrol comes under the volatile liquids. Okay, so you can see acetone, petrol and perfume are volatile liquid, therefore they get heat from our palm and causes cooling. So whatever the heat is present onto our palm, they will quickly absorb with this heat itself, and we can feel the cold, we can feel cooling sensation. Okay, next question: why we are able to sip hot tea or milk faster from a saucer rather than a cup? Okay, so the question is, when the tea or coffee is hot, we cannot sip it into the from the cup itself, but if we place it into the saucer, we can easily sip up. Okay, so why this is? So the solution here is, saucer has a bigger surface area as compared to the cup. Okay, you know that when we pour it into the when we pour the tea or coffee into the saucer, you can see the area of the saucer is widen up than the glass cup. Okay, so evaporation is the surface phenomenon. Okay, we know that evaporation is also a surface phenomenon. By using a saucer instead of a cup, we are increasing the surface area for evaporation. So instead of the cup, if we are using saucer there, we are just increasing the surface area, and we are promoting the evaporation to occur there. Okay, faster evaporation allows cooling and taking the sip becomes easier. Okay, if the tea or coffee is placed into the saucer, the evaporation process becomes faster and we can sip it easily. Next question is fifth one: what type of clothes we should wear in summer? Okay, so what type of clothes, you all know what is the answer here. What type of clothes we should wear into summer season? So the answer is, we should wear cotton clothes because it is a good absorbent of water. Okay, it absorbs sweat quite well, and pores in the fabric expose that sweat to easy evaporation. So you know that the cotton into the cotton clothes, the pores will be present, and that pores will easily absorb the sweat. Okay, and the clothes will easily dry up due to the process of evaporation. Hence we should prefer wearing cotton clothes into the summer season. Okay, so I hope everything is cleared here. If you are having any doubts regarding this video, you can comment me down your doubts. I'll surely help you out, and do not forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. I'll be back soon with another video, so till then stay tuned and stay connected. Thank you.